Hi, this is Cheryl of Majestic Wire Artworks. In this video, I'm going to show you how to wire wrap these dramatic wire wrapped earrings. And I've used some beautiful charoite beads in this pair, and we're going to be using charoite again in the video just because I want to make a pair for myself because I like them. This is my favorite color. I love purple. So anyways, we're going to get started with, I'm going to tell you what you need is you need two 8mm round beads and four 4mm round beads. And you're going to need some ear wires and two pieces of 15.5 inch long 20 gauge wire. I will have the metric measurements in the description, so check it out there. And and making the little drop here, we're just going to use scraps. I think we should be able to use scraps for that. So okay, so let's get started. So with your 20 gauge 15.5 piece of wire, I want you to measure from one end 6.5 inches and give it a bend, and on both of them. And I'm going to demonstrate how to make, well, I want you to make a regular loop on one and then a backwards loop on the other. And I'm going to demonstrate the looping technique with shorter wire so I don't have to fight with it as much. Okay, so how we're going to do it is the shorter piece of wire, which would be 6.5 inches, is going to be where the beads are going to be on. And then the longer 9-inch piece is what we're using to wrap our loop. So I'm just going to demonstrate just a regular loop. So you've got your 45-degree angle there, and you have your favorite place on your pliers for making your loops. And you always want them the same because it affects the length of your earring if they're not the same. So I want you to make a loop, check it out, make sure it's nice and straight and round like that. That one turned out really well. And then I want you to wrap it. When you're putting your pliers back in, always make sure it goes in tightly like that. Because if you go loose, it's going to make your loop go crooked on you. So we want it tight. And we're going to do 5 wraps. When you do 5 wraps, it actually looks like it's 6. I will show you that once we're done. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the camera keeps going in and out. So what I mean is it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wires in the front. And you want it straight, and it's pretty straight. But if yours isn't, you should cinch it up, because actually the wraps is like a measurement for you. So you really want it cinched up. Okay. So the beads will be going on this part, and the longer part is going to be doing all the well, I guess not all the fancy wiring, because once the bead's on, it will meet up with it. Okay, so I just need you to do that. And then the backwards one, we're going to bend that again and get your round nose pliers. So you've got this pushed away from you, and that's the longer part of the wire, the 9-inch part. You're going to wrap around the loop, and instead of going in front here, you're going to go behind on this side. Okay, so we've got it around. And check to make sure it's straight, and it looks a little off, so I'm just going to fix that up. Put my pliers pliers back in. Keep going in and out of focus. There we go. Okay. So now you're going to do your 5 wraps, but it's the opposite way. So I'm going to flip it around. So that's the front sitting there. So it's 1 wrap, 2, and it isn't as tight as I'd like it to be. 3. Working further away from the camera isn't being as effective as I thought it would be. It always goes out of focus. There. Is that the sweet point? Nope. 4. And it's really messy. So if yours ends up messy like that, all you have to do, number 1, is cinch it up. Okay, so that's compressing it. Cinching it up is basically compressing it. And then oh, come on. So to work further away from the camera, I had to get a different backdrop, and I find that my camera is always fighting with it now. The little blue mat I had before, it never picked up, looked at it. So this is a cloth instead of a plastic mat. I think I need to iron it and see if that makes a difference. Okay, so there we have 5. So I want you to go ahead and wrap yours. I'm going to wrap my real ones now, and we'll meet up in a minute together. Okay, there, I'm back, and I've got them wrapped, and this is still the shorter wire that the beads are going to go on. And see, we normally work with it with the wire in front like this, but this time we're going to flip it around and have the wire coming from the back. And see, they should be opposites. They're going to be doing the fancy wire work on opposite sides of the bead. Okay, so I'm taking the one with the wire coming from the right first. So if you want to join me with that, and I want you to take your 8mm bead and slide it on. Slide it on the shorter wire. Yes, it is definitely the shorter wire. Okay, and we want to wrap it around like this. Okay, and it's going to be a little bit of an angle at the back, and that's okay. We kind of want that. And we're going to wrap it around once around the bead, or almost once, and then make the wires come down like that. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make a curl that's at the bottom going this way. So we're going to hold it upside down like this, and we're going to go to the right and make a swirl like that at the bottom of our bead. And we actually want it a little bit facing like that. Okay, so it's actually forwards a little bit, and then we're going to work it up like that, and we're going to make another curl right there, another loop above the other one. Okay, so it's like that, and then come around. Okay, so we got double loops there, and we're going to make it cross over the top of the bead like that. Now, one of these wires is going to have a bead on it, whichever one splits up the best when we pull on it. That one. See how that one split up better? So that's going to be it started out being the outer wire. We want it to be the inner wire. So we're just going to go like that. Now I want you to slip a 4mm bead onto that wire. Okay. And so we want it to sit about there so that it's halfway between this loop and the neck there. Okay, and we're gonna wrap around that base like that. And we're gonna come down and make a loop around that bead. So we wanna make sure that bead is where we want it. And wrap, kind of like a ribbon wrap, that loop like that. See, like that. And we're now where we went before we crossed over, we're going to be above that now. And we're just going to go behind like this. And that's all we're going to do for the wire wrapping. Because now we're going to cut it off about 1 centimeter from the neck of the bead, or the wire wrapping, I mean. So I think this bent over a little bit. I'm just going to tug it straight. And we want to measure from the back. The center, we want one centimeter. Okay, so take your ruler and measure it and snip it off. Oops, kind of flew. There, so that's the back of the earring. Got 1 centimeter. Okay, we're going to leave it at that point, and we're going to do the same thing with the other earring, but it's going to be reversed. So you've got this, got it at the back. Put the bead on, crossing to the front. Wrap it around once, or almost once, that is. So it's a little forward like that. I'm pushing it up because it was coming down. And now I want the 2 wires pulled down so they're together. Okay, so that's the front. And now we want the loop to go, got it upside down. I want what's going to be easier for me to do it. We want it to be wrapped around like this and then up like that. So we're going to, there we go, like that. But we want that kind of to be forwards to give it a different look. Okay. So I'm going to twist that a little bit. And then make the second loop. Like that beside the bead. And then bring this up around to the top of the bead. Okay, and then we figure out which wire is better. Probably that one. Yeah, so it's this one. We want the 4mm bead put on that wire. And then we want it to be the inner wire. Okay, like that. We want it to sit nice. So we're going at the base there, wrapping it around, coming up front to the center, and now we're going to put a ribbon around that bead. like that. We're going to come around the top. And that's it. That's all we're doing. And we're going to snip it off at 1 centimeter. I'm going to make it a little bit longer and remeasure it just because my hands weren't working well. So it's like 2 millimeters, and I'm just going to snip that off. There. Okay. So they're both at the same point right now, like this. Let's compare them. There. Now this one's sticking out a little bit more that way, so I'm going to push this wire outwards just so they match a little bit better. Let's see if that looks better. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to maybe push this one in a little bit. There. Okay, I'm going to be happy with that. Now we're just going to do 2 little curlicues going upwards. And I'm not making one a different length. I'm going to keep them both the same length. Spread the wires apart to make it easier. And make a little cutesy loop. Okay, and then the other one as well. I'm going to lift this up out of my way, because I can always put it back down. Okay, so down, bend that a little bit more, and down too, and then they're like that. Okay, so they're just peeking out, and that one's ready for an ear wire. I'm going to put, oh no, it's not. I forgot one step. So we'll put the curlicues on the other earrings. I'm going to work from the back with this one because then it's the right side for me. I'm going to split the 2 wires apart. Make that little loop. Make a loop on the other one. Crimp it down. Okay, did a curl. It's peeping up nice there. Let's compare the 2. Oh, not bad. This one's up a little higher, so let's move this one up a little higher. There, like that. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is the little 1 bead drop thing. I don't think there's an official name for it. So take one of your scraps, take your round nose pliers, and make a loop at the top. Okay, it's a P loop. We want it to be an I loop. So I'm just going to flip it back like this. And I went too far. Okay, I gotta make it till I'm happy, but this zoom keeps going in and out. There we go. Okay, and now I'm only gonna make one of these for you to see so that you don't have to watch it twice. Flatten it out, straighten that out, crimp down that loop so it's nice and tight, or work hardened that way. Okay, now we'll put the bead on. Okay, and we want to make the other loop the opposite direction, so I'm going to push it. We don't want it 90 degrees. We want it just like that. That's probably 45 degrees. Just so we can wrap around a loop. Okay, see how we got that loop there? And we're going to snip it right there. Nice little flesh cutters work great for this. This flesh cutter is meant for making jump rings. So it works really well getting into tiny places. Okay, and I'm just going to focus, focus, focus. There we go. Close up that loop. Okay, so now you're going to look at your loops. One's going to be nicer than the other. So the nicer one's going to sit on the ear wire. The other one that's not as nice is we're going to hook up the rest of the drop onto it. Okay, like that, and tighten it up. And we want it to sit straight. Okay, so go ahead and make your other loop like that, and I will join you in a minute. Okay, so I'm back and I have both of my little connector things attached, made and attached. So I'm hoping you're at the same spot. And now all that's left to do is put on our ear wires and make sure they're sitting straight. Because we can always make adjustments to make them sit straight. Okay, that's the front. Okay, so it is sitting straight. That's nice. Okay, it's very pretty. And do the same for the other one. That's the back. We want the front. Okay, there it is. Is it sitting straight? Looks to be pretty good. Lucked out. So if it wasn't sitting straight, that would mean maybe the angles of these loops weren't opposite of each other. You could straighten them out. Problem solve as to what's not sitting right. Could be this loop not sitting right, not sitting square to the wire wrapping. You'll figure it out. Okay, so they're done and beautiful. Thank you for joining me in this tutorial. I hope to see you again in the near future. And God bless. Take care. Bye for now.